house fire in LaGrange is now a murder investigation that leaves the hearts of two families broken.
We are hurt.
We are hurt. We're really hurt.
He was shot and he was burned from his chest and he was burned in his back.
Sarah Kennedy, Roderick's mother, says she recalled hearing the sirens just up the road from her home, but didn't know it was her son whose life was in danger.
He was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
On Saturday, January 25, 2025, around midnight in LaGrange, Georgia, police would arrest a man for alleged DV against a woman earlier that Saturday morning. Officials say the incident happened around 12:30 a.m. on Fendick Street. The 38-year-old victim had turned up at the hospital with a broken ankle. The suspect, identified as 35-year-old Travis Rivers, was arrested for violating a condition of bond order. Within 2 weeks or less after the alleged crime, Travis would get out of jail, and by February 9, 2025, he took things to a fatal level, leaving a path of destruction, pain, and heartbreak for an entire community. LaGrange, Georgia is a fairly small city with a population of around 31,000 people. It is located about 60 miles southwest of Atlanta in the foothills of the Georgia Piedmont. 38-year-old Jabrika Williams was born and raised in the city and received her education from LaGrange City Schools. She would become the mother of 3 children and was currently working at a commercial food service equipment manufacturer. Jabrika, who also went by Brika, was described as a nice soul who was very polite and soft-spoken. She had an outgoing spirit, tenacious smile, and her laughter was contagious. Some time ago, she was in a relationship with the now 35-year-old Travis Rivers. From the looks of his social media, you would not be hesitant to say he appears to honor his mother and shared a special relationship with his sister. From the outside looking in, he seems like a man who truly respects women and has a desire to live a life in a positive light. He once wrote that, "We are in spiritual warfare. Keep your eyes open. Most of all, stay close to the higher power because the enemy is near." However, something in his life shifted, or his true colors started to show, because he allowed himself to commit a terrible crime. Things with him and Jabrika did not end up lasting for the long haul, and Travis' behavior seemed to grow more and more harmful. One of the last times before a terrible incident took place was that incident on January 25th, where he was accused of some horrible DV against her and was arrested for violation and condition of that bond order. He appeared to not want to take no for an answer and was willing to do anything to get back in Jabrika's good graces. It was said that things would be off and on with the two over a period of time. However, things were not good. She seemed to be wanting to move on and was hoping to remove herself from any dealings with the trauma that came with being with Travis. She allegedly had started talking to a 40-year-old Roderick Kennedy, who was from around the way and also raised up in the LaGrange area. Many who knew him affectionately called him Lil Twin, and coming up he graduated from Troop High School and loved the game of football. He became a father of 3 children and was currently working at Cook Foods in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Roderick was said to be a truly special person that many loved, and his personality had a big impact on many people's lives in a majestic way. He was also a jokester who loved making everyone laugh, and his smile lit up any room he walked in. Roderick was a special person, and even though he had been through a lot in life, he was a big inspiration to all who knew him. He, like Jabrika, both were the life of the parties, and that may be some of the reason why they were hanging out, but sadly, tragedy would strike both of them at the same time. On February 8th at around 11:30 p.m., firefighters responded to a house fire at 102 Fendick Street. When they got to the burning home, they quickly started to extinguish the fire, not aware of what they would find next. After the fire was put out, it was then that 2 bodies were discovered inside the home. Both victims were later identified, sadly, as Jabrika and Roderick, but at the time, they had no suspects. Despite that, Travis was most likely on their radar because that same day they arrested him due to an active felony probation violation warrant and aggressive stalking charges as part of the previous ongoing investigation. They needed to get him on something to hold him for 72 hours while they investigated the fire and unaliving that took place. Authorities learned that both victims had been shot and that the fire was presumably a cover-up to get rid of evidence. Then, official update on the case came on February 14, 2025. The LaGrange police detectives issued unaliving charges against Travis Rivers following the ongoing investigation. The following charges he also received were felony unaliving, 2 counts, aggravated harm, 2 counts, home invasion, 1 count, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 1 count, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 1 count.
Loved ones of 2 people killed in a deadly shooting in LaGrange mourning their loss. This all comes as police have arrested the man they say was behind the.
Yeah, loved ones of Jabrika Williams held a candlelight vigil here Saturday night outside of her home on Fendig Street. They say she and her boyfriend were shot and here in a jealous rage by her ex. What was initially thought to be a fatal house fire in LaGrange is now a investigation that leaves the hearts of 2 families broken. A devastated Lawrence Williams and Danielle Thompson Willis gathered family together on Fendig Street Saturday night to remember their daughter, 38-year-old Jabrika Williams. LaGrange police say Williams and her boyfriend, 40-year-old Roderick Kennedy, were both found shot to death inside her burning home just before 11:30 p.m. February 8th, when a call came in about a structure fire.
He was shot and he was burned from his chest and he was burned in his back.
Sarah Kennedy, Roderick's mother, says she recalled hearing the sirens just up the road from her home, but didn't know it was her son whose life was in danger.
He was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's hurting me so bad. They just didn't have to do it the way they did it.
Within 24 hours of the fire, investigators arrested 35-year-old Travis Rivers on felony probation violation and aggravated stalking charges related to this case. Police added felony to the list of charges on Friday night. Williams' family tells Fox 5 she had just ended an relationship with Rivers, who'd recently gotten out of jail.
You should have took her alive. For what? If I leave you, just leave me alone.
Though both families say the arrest came as a relief, they are still struggling to come to terms with what happened to Williams and Kennedy.
Because of one man choosing not to let go, 2 innocent people have lost their lives for no reason. Now, there are 6 kids without a mother or a father, and that should not be the case. He had just got arrested not even 2 weeks prior for causing harm to Jabrika, but somehow, some way, he was let back out onto the streets so quickly. It is the same scenario over and over in so many cases where the person gets locked up but let out, and the first thing they do is take a life or lives. It truly bothers me that there seems to be no true protection for the victims of DV, and it breaks my heart. Something has to change, and change fast, because too many beautiful people are losing their lives prematurely behind heinous crimes. Both of their lives matter, and they should still be here. These types of crimes affect so many people, from the kids to the rest of the family, friends, and the community. They both were very loved and will be deeply missed by all who cared about them. I'm glad the authorities were able to find the alleged suspect so quickly, and I pray that all involved get justice sooner than later. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.